Hello guys, what's up? Lala Polar Noob is here making videos for you guys again, and today we're gonna continue our part 3 of this series of applying any kind of Bootstrap template to your chosen backend framework. In this case, I'm going to apply AdminLTE template to my chosen backend framework, which is EE framework. And today I'm gonna show you guys the step-by-step guides on how you guys can manage or achieve to do that. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, the first thing that you guys need to do is you guys have to set up your environment first. What I mean by setting your environment is that you guys have to do these 3 things first before you can make or build your own website. And those 3 things are, the first one is you guys have to download and install your preferred backend framework. The second one is that you have to download and install your preferred local server. And last but not least, you guys have to download your preferred template, your front-end template. The first one, I'm gonna go with EE framework as my backend framework. The second one, I'm gonna go with WAM server as my local server. And the third but not least, the last one, I'm gonna go with Bootstrap AdminLTE template as my front-end template. And I already did set up my environment, so I'm gonna skip that part. And for those who are not yet set up their environment, make sure you guys do that first. And if you guys don't know how to do that, or you guys encounter any kind of problems while doing that, don't worry, on my next video I'm gonna show you guys step-by-step guide on how you guys can set up your environment safely. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel so that you guys can get notified whenever I upload new videos on my channel. Okay, let's start with creating a new project folder first. Okay, on EE framework, what you guys need to do is you guys need to visit their page, getting started page, and then copy this command line we have here in order for us to create a new project. So open your CMD, your command prompt, and then maneuver yourself to where your local server folder situated in your system. So mine is in C. I'm using WAM server, so the project folder should be in this www folder. So I'm gonna copy paste this path over here, CD. We're gonna go to that path. Once you're in that path, copy this command line and paste it all here, and change the name of the project folder to any name that you want. Maybe I'm gonna go with AdminLTE project. Hit enter, and you guys just need to wait for a couple of minutes for it to download and install all dependencies in our new project folder in order for it to work and functions well. Okay, once all seems to be downloaded and installed, you can exit your command prompt and maneuver yourself to where you install your project folder. So we have it here, AdminLTE project, and all seems to be intact. So what we can do for now is for you to download and install your preferred coding editors. Mine, I'm using this Sublime text coding editors. So you have to import your project folder here. I'm going to import my project folder here, going to C, WAM, www, and this our new project folder. So once you import your project folder here, it's going to be easy for us to tweak any kind of codes that we have here in order for us to start applying the Bootstrap template on our EE framework project folder that we have here. So let's start with seeing what our website looks like by default now. open your browser and type localhost, and you can see here we have our project here, AdminLTE project. To see the look of our website by default, you can just do /AdminLTE project, and then maneuver yourself to web, and this is how the looks of our website right now by default. So what we're gonna do in this video is to change this look of the website to our new look of the website, which is what I'm choosing right now. It's AdminLTE template. So we're gonna apply all this to our current by default website that we have here. Let's go back to our coding editor. Oh, before that, you guys need to download and copy and paste your new template source code in your project folder first. Mine, I'm using AdminLTE Bootstrap template. So what I just need to do is to go to their website, click on this download button here, and click on the source code.zip link we have here. Either one of them is fine actually to download the source code of the template. Once it finished downloading, navigate yourself to where the downloaded folder is. It should be in this compressed folder over here, AdminLTE. Copy it and paste it to your project folder, which mine situated in C drive, under WAM folder, www folder, and your project folder. Paste it here, and don't forget to extract it, of course. Okay, now I can start briefly explain to you guys how Ye framework works, but keep in mind that this gonna be applicable only to Ye framework. It might be a little bit different to how other backend framework works. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Before you guys can start applying your chosen template, you guys need to know the basic flow of how Ye framework works, and I will not gonna go through with that here on this video. That's gonna be maybe on my next or future video. Don't worry, I'm gonna update it in the description box down below. Make sure to look up for that, cause if not, you're gonna have some trouble understanding what I'm doing in this video. So with that being said, I'm not gonna explain what each of these folders does, but only some of them will do for now, at least to some specific folders that related to our topic right now. The only folders that we're gonna be touching right now are our new template folder, AdminLTE, assets folder, controllers folder, views folder, and web folder. From AdminLTE, our new template folder, of course we're gonna need some codes in here and apply it to our current website right now. All the required HTML, CSS, JS codes and other dependency provided in this folder will be transferred and applied to our Ye framework or application template we have now. Okay, the first thing that you guys need to do is to open the home page or your index page of your new template, which is supposed to be in your new template folder. Mine is AdminLTE folder, index.html. From here, you guys need to identify the root location or the parents folder of the template style sheet or CSS codes and JavaScript or JS codes, which normally located at the beginning and at the end of the code. So for this, the parents folder for the style sheet or CSS code that we have here are Bower Components folder, this folder, and plugins folder. As for our JavaScript or JS codes, we too have Bower Components folder, plugins folder, and this folder being used here. So we got three root location or parents folder that holds the required CSS and JS codes that makes up this look. Then the next thing that you guys need to do is to navigate yourself to where the parents folder is, and that's gonna be in your C drive, WAM folder, www folder, of course your project folder, and get inside your new template folder, AdminLTE folder, and copy the 3 parents folder that you have already identified earlier, which were our components folder, this folder, and plugins folder. Ctrl C to copy them and get inside your web folder that we have here and paste them all here. I already did that, so you guys need to do that first. Once all 3 of them finish copying, let's go back to our coding editor and proceed to our second part, which is to copy some of this code that we have here to our YE application template that we have on this left side. What we're gonna do actually on our second part is to copy the code that makes up this look, the HTML codes that makes up this look of AdminLTE template, to our current template that we have here, the default template of YE application template. Let's go and do that. Let's go up and first copy this class whole transition screen blue sidebar mini. Ctrl C and go to your view folder, layouts folder, and double click on your main.php to tap them up here. So we get so we have index.html tab and main.php tab, and paste the code that we copied earlier here, body, and then go back to your index.html. Next we need to copy this div class wrap that start here and ends here. So there, up, hold shift and click, Ctrl C to copy them, go back to our main.php and override this div class wrap that we got here, that start here, ends here, and out the footer also. We replace them with the code that we get from index.html. So once you did that, hit Ctrl S to save, and what you're gonna do next is we need to separate the content that we have in the middle here with the with our header, sidebar navigation, and our footer below, because the only thing that gonna change whenever we navigate to a different page, the ones that we have in the middle here. So we need to place the codes that gonna change whenever we navigate to a different view or different page. The one that does not gonna change whenever we navigate, let's say I go to dashboard 2, you can see that the header, the sidebar navigation menu, and the footer, all 3 of them not gonna change whenever we navigate to a different page, right? So the thing that does not gonna change, we're gonna leave the codes in the main.php here. So the codes that gonna change, the middle one, we're gonna copy them, cut them, not copy them, we cut them from main.php and paste them inside this side folder, index.php. We paste them inside here. So let's do that here. So we have to find the middle part of the code, which is in this div class content wrapper that start here, section class content header, and ends here. Ctrl X to cut them, and before that you need to paste or write this line of code first. Content, and hit Ctrl S to save them, and go to your index.php and replace the code that we have here, the HTML codes, with the code that we copied earlier. Hit Ctrl Save. What we eventually does is we copy all the content, HTML content that we have here on AdminLTE template, the look, the header, the sidebar, navigation menu, and the footer, and the middle one that we have here, into our YE application that we have here. Okay, before we refresh this to look what already the changes that we already made, let's first save what we already done here. Save. This no need to save, and go back to our browser and hit refresh. Yeah, this is what we get for now. It's not looking the same because we didn't yet connect our CSS and JS codes that makes up this look, right? So if you hit your right click, your inspect element, and you can see here in the head section, they all have the style sheet that bounce, the CSS code that bounce to this template, the page that we have here, and also the JS code that bounce to the template that we have here, that makes up this look. All of this look, the dependencies are the JS codes and the CSS code that being called here. We didn't yet do that, so that's why it looks like this. So that brings us to our last step, step 3, which is to connect the CSS and JS code to our new template that we have here, to make it look like this, to make it look and function like this, right? So let's go back to our subline editor. You can go back to your index.html. You can see here, this is where we get our source code. We copy them from here and paste it into our main.php and our index.php, right? So you can see in the original one, they have dependency CS style sheet or CSS up here, been declared here, that the page get from this folder, bow component, this folder, and plugins folder. This CSS, and at the end is the JavaScript dependencies. The original one, they declared it in the page, but if you see in your main PHP, there's no way to be found the CSS and JavaScript. We does not declare them anywhere in the page. Nowhere to be found in main PHP, and certainly nowhere to be found in index.php also. So that's why our page look like this. So in order for us to make it function and look like what they're supposed to look like, what you need to do is we need to copy and paste this CSS over here and JS over here to our E application. And how we gonna do that? It's easy actually. This is how we're gonna do. In main PHP, with index.php, we declare it like this, right? We put all the codes and call the CSS, the CSS dependencies codes in the head section like this. Link rel style sheet, blah 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 at the beginning of the code, and also the JavaScript at the end of the code. Same gonna be applied in our template, application template right now, but how we do it is gonna be a little bit different. This is how we do it. You can see here, actually we store our CSS, or we store or call our CSS through these assets that we have here. This app asset, we register it to this main.php. So where to see this app asset? It's supposed to be in your asset folder that you have here. If you close this AdminLTE folder, it's going to be below your template folder here. You go to your app asset, and then you double click on your app asset. You can see here the site actually right now, our page actually right now only dependent on this css/site.css, which actually is not required for this template, right? So because this template that we have here, they depends on in this CSS, all this CSS and all this JS at the end of the code. So what we have here, we can actually delete them for now, and we're gonna replace them with what we have here. But before that, you have to know which of these CSS and JS code at the end of this code is or are globally affected all the page in the website. Which of these CSS and locally affected the page. What I mean by that, if you go back to your live preview of your template, you can see here, if I go to dashboard v1, the header, the site navigation menu and the footer, they're not gonna change whenever I go or navigate myself to a different page, right? You can see here, I go to top navigation. Oh wait, not that. I go to widget, I go to chart. You can see here the header, the site navigation menu and the footer, they not gonna change. The only thing that gonna change is the content that we have here in the middle. So that means some of the dependencies like CSS and JavaScript that gonna be the same throughout the whole page is the one that globally affected all the page, right? Meaning that the one that affected the header, the one that affected the site menu, and the one that affected the footer is what we're gonna call them as globally affected the whole page. And the one that's locally affected the specific page is the CSS and JavaScript dependencies that only affected in the middle here. If let's say there's one line of JavaScript that only specific to this graph, no, specific to this what we have up here. When we go to dashboard v2, the look of this is different, so that means that the CSS or JavaScript that affected the first page is going to be locally affected by this page, but not the dashboard v2 page. So with that being said, among all of these CSS that we have here and JavaScript that we have at the end of the code, some of them will globally affected all the page in the website, and some of them only affected the dashboard v2 page, right? The home page, that only page. How can we know which one is globally affected and which one is locally affected? Simple actually. Open your template folder, mine is AdminLTE, and just open any of the page that I have in the website. I'm gonna open the index2.html. Index.html is actually the dashboard v1 we have here. That's why you can see up here index.html. If you go to dashboard v2, it's gonna say index2.html. So we can see here the only differences that we have here is the content in the middle here, right? So the way for us to know which one is the global CSS or global JS, apart from the local CSS and local JS, is we need to compare the two pages that we have here. If we go to index.html, you can see it. Just go back and forth, you can see it, the amount of CSS we have in index.html, the first page, as compared to what we have in index page. The first page, they have more of it, and the second page we have less of it, meaning that some of the CSS that we have in index does not gonna be applied in index2.html, right? So from here you can see that Bootstrap 3.3.7 is being used in the first page. If you see index2.html, also Bootstrap 3.37 is being used in this page. That means that Bootstrap 3.3.7 is actually globally affected all these two pages right now, right? So we can categorize this Bootstrap 3.37 as the CSS that gonna globally affected all the page in the website. So if we go more down, we can see that we have font awesome, iron icons, and index h2 we also have font awesome, iron icon, and we have theme style AdminLTE skin. Over here we have theme style AdminLTE skin, which this one we can say for sure that this one, the three top Bootstrap font awesome, iron icons, theme style AdminLTE skin, and also Google fonts that we have here. Google fonts that we have here until the one below is the CSS that gonna globally affected these two page. We can say for sure that those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 6 CSS gonna globally affected all the page. Where else this Morris chart, deck picker, deck ranger picker, bootstrap, HTML5 text editor gonna be, it's locally affected only this page only. If you see index 2, we have a JVector map that's only gonna globally locally affected this index.2html. The same goes for our JavaScript. If you go down at the end of the code, you can see that JavaScript that been declared in the HTML2 is much more less than being declared in index.html, the first page. From here also we can see that jQuery 3 been declared in HTML2, also been declared the jQuery 3, so it's gonna globally affect all the page. Bootstrap 3.7 over here, so that's mean that what we have jQuery UI and resolve complete in jQuery are only locally affected this page, whereas in the HTML2 we don't have that. So that's how we separate the global CSS and JS from the local CSS and JS. Actually, you need to know and to study your chosen template. As for me, I already use this admin template like a lot. That's why I know a bunch of things about AdminLTE template, which one is globally affected and which one is locally affected. So that's why it's easy for me to know which one isn't and which one is. So with that being said, let's before that, in app asset I'm gonna put all the global CSS and global JS, right? And that app asset is gonna be called from this main.php, right? So this main.php only hold our header, our sidebar navigation menu that we have on our left here, and our footer, right? But not the content that we have in the middle here. The content that we have in the middle here, we put it in our index.php under our site folder that we have here. So index.php is gonna act as our home page right now, right? So this on this main.php, if you go up, you can see here I call the CSS and JS code or declaration from this code. This here is actually I register app asset to this view or to this page.main.php, so that JS and CSS dependency gonna be applied in this page. So if I already separate in app asset, I only put global CSS and global JS. That means if I go to the first page, some of the CSS and JS gonna be missing, right? Because I only put the global and the global CSS and JS. I need the local CSS and JS code too, in order for the first page, the index.html page, to be look like this, to completely look like this. So app asset I'm gonna declare on main.php, whereas in index.php I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna copy this and paste them up here, and basically I'm gonna create another asset, and I'm gonna call it the homepage asset or something like that, and I'm gonna put what CSS and JS that only locally affected by this page into that asset, into that homepage or index asset that gonna be declared here. So with all that being said, and then we're gonna have our page look like this in the end. So why don't I go and copy and paste and separate them, which one is global and which one is local. Okay, that's all. I think the global CSS and global JS. Why don't we save it for now, and let's try to refresh it. Oops, we got an error over here on line 26. Where is line 26? 26 over here, line 26. Oh, we forgot to put comma over here. Save. Let's try again. Voila. You can see here we have the page almost look like this, but not all true because of this missing link over here. So let's go create our local asset to put it in our index.php. Before that, let's just copy and paste this line of code over here to register our asset. We can just delete this code, put it over here, and we can change the name of asset, since we're gonna put it as our index assets. Just name the asset same as your what your page name. It's gonna be easier for you. Let's say if I go here, dashboard v1 is index. If I go dashboard 2 is going to be index2.html. if I go widget, it's going to be widgets.html. just name it as what the page name. It's going to be easier for you to later on to tweak a little bit or to adjust your CSS or local JS, right? So it's going to be easier for you to find where is it. Index of asset, and we're going to change it here also, index.asset. Click save, and then we're gonna create the asset from here. Just right click, new file, and name it as index asset.php and save it. Save. Okay, once you save it, you can see it, you have index asset.php. Then what we're gonna do is we just need to copy all of this as a template from app asset to our index asset that we have here. But make sure you guys name the class as index asset also. If not, it's not gonna function. Index asset, just change over here as index. And then we're gonna tweak a little bit of CSS and JS code that we identify and find them out as a local CSS and JavaScript. Let me do that first. For this one that we have here, is going to be easier for us and it's going to be neat for us if we create a .js file for this one. So why don't we do that? I think it's gonna be a lot more okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a .js file for this one. We just want this to be to look neat like this, right? You can see here we only call where the CSS and JS file is located in this application template, right? This one is from Bower components, from this and this Bower components. So what we have here, actually we call if you want to know the location of our CSS and JS code, which where we put them, it's actually the first step that you did earlier, where you copy and paste the parents folder of CSS and style sheet or JS JavaScript that you put in web. So what we call here, actually we call from here Bower components folder, we call from our this folder and plugin folder. So why not we create this one over here as widget. We don't want to paste it like this, it's not gonna look neat. So we go to our this, since it's already have a folder of JS folder. Why don't we right click, we create a new JS and name it as, let's say, tooltip, complete resolve jQuery UI tooltip with Bootstrap tooltip. So we're gonna say this jQuery Bootstrap tooltip.js tooltip.js. Save and save it over here, and then we copy this add widget, copy and paste it over here and save it. Ctrl S to save it and close them. So what we just need to do now is we only need to declare or call where the location of the JS. So it's situated in this, so we put this /js / and the name of our JS file, so jQuery bootstrap tooltip, tooltip.js, and put a comma there. Okay, I think that's all the local CSS and JavaScript for this index page, the home page of our website. Let's go and refresh it. Before I forgot, for our app asset, our asset on main.php, we need to change this line of code here. So we need to change them to this one. Copy, and I'm gonna paste it below. Copy this one and overwrite this one. Just do it like I did here in order for the page to function or like how it's supposed to be. This is the one way of you to call JavaScript. There's a lot of way of you to call JavaScript if the page does not work function. This is the one of the way. So why not we try to refresh our page and see what happened. Okay, we got all the page function the same as what we have here on live preview on AdminLTE website. So this one is from our local host, and this one is live from AdminLTE.io website. So our page is now function as how it's supposed to be, at least for now, for the home page only. If you go to your index.html2, of course the page is not going to be found. It's going to be give you error of not founding, 0, error 404 not found, because you didn't yet set up your second page, right? So that's why you only have the first page, which is your index page. So that's how you do it, guys. That's how you apply any kind of template to your application. This is how you do it. The first step gonna be to copy all your parents folder or assets, actually your CSS and JavaScript from your template folder, the one that we identified earlier, the bow components folder, this folder, and the plugins folder, right? How to identify that is by you go to one of the page that inside your new template. Let's say we go to index.html. we can see here we have bow components, we have this component, we have plugins component for CSS codes, and we have the same folder being used also for JavaScript codes. So that's how we manage to identify and paste them inside this web folder. And the second part would be where you copy section of the codes here in index.html and paste them inside main.php and index.php, where in main.php we paste a section of code that does not gonna change whenever we navigate through all the pages in the website, whereas in index.php is where we paste a section of the code that always gonna change whenever we navigate to the website, which was the middle one that we have here. And the last part, the last step, which is the third step, is where we reconnect all the CSS, the required CSS and JS codes that help us, and that we separate into global and local CSS and JavaScript that help us to make the website look like this. So this is all for now, guys. I hope you guys can catch up and understand what I'm trying to show you guys in this video, and I really hope that you guys can make or build your own website from now. So see you guys again. Until next time, ciao.